Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reata Horsemanship. I'm Luke Brown, and today is Winning Wednesday. Super excited to be with you here today on this sunny morning. It was a nice chilly morning. I love that we have some cool weather. We've had a lot of rain, and I'm so thankful for that rain. Hope you guys are too. And the horse I'm riding this morning, again, this is Pete. She's a quarter horse, and now this morning it's quite a bit more windy, and so she's struggling a little bit more with all the wind. She is quite an uneasy horse, an anxious horse out here, but we've been making a lot of progress still, and she's going to be finishing up the end of this week. Look forward to her going back to her owner and having a successful life with him. And today for Winning Wednesday, last week I talked to everybody about reading a book every month, about making it a point to read a book every month, to feed your mind with something for personal growth, whatever that is, whatever you're trying to grow, however you're trying to grow personally, whether it be in your horsemanship, in your health and wellness, in your relationships, in your wealth building, or in your preparedness, or even in your giving back and showing charity to other people in the world. If you want to develop yourself, one of the greatest things you can do is read a book every month. And in Lady Horse Boss and Reata Horsemanship, if you're a member of Lady Horse Boss, you know that the Lady Horse Boss family, and that means you're a subscribing member to Lady Horse Boss membership. And if you are, then you know that this month we're working on the book, or we're reading the book, The 4 Agreements. And I just today for Winning Wednesday, I wanted to go through those 4 agreements really briefly and let you know that we're going to be doing a podcast on the 4 agreements on Friday. Now that podcast is going to be recorded, and then we're going to post it onto our podcast on the website, and also to Lady Horse Boss family. So look forward to that. And then the 4 agreements, it's by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he talks about 4 things that are very, very vital into really, truly living the life of your dreams. And the first and foremost is being impeccable. Sorry, there's a truck coming by, and there's always lots going on out here. First and foremost is being impeccable with your word. And just briefly, I want to explain what that means. And that means everything you think, everything you say, everything you allow to come into your mind, the way you support whatever comes into your mind, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, that's all about being impeccable with your word. Now, if somebody tells you something that's negative and you agree with that negativity, you are not being impeccable with your word, because you're allowing somebody else. Now, impeccable means without sin. Pecado in Spanish and in Latin is sin, and impecar or impeccable means without sin. And so when you don't, sinning is what he describes in there as a sin. A lot of times people see it as a religious aspect, and he gives a little broader perspective as anything that goes against your nature, your true nature, your true light, the purpose that you have in this world and for now and eternity. Whatever that purpose is, if you're not true to that, and you're not true to what you believe, or you allow people to tell you things that are not true, and you allow that to soak in, and you take that personally, that's not being impeccable with your word. When somebody says something that's negative towards you, and you allow that to bounce off, and you don't take that personally, and you don't agree with that, then you are being impeccable with your word. And it goes into much more depth than that, but basically, think good things about yourself and about others, say good things about yourself and about others, and don't allow the negative things that other people say to affect you. That's being impeccable with your word. And second, and it goes right along with this, and I already mentioned it, is don't take things personally. So if you, a lot of times people will do things that we feel like is a personal attack on ourselves. And what he says is anything anybody does or says is always a demonstration of who they are, what they are, how they think, how they believe. It has nothing to do with you. And if you don't take it personally, if you do take things personally, you're being very selfish, because you're attributing everybody else's actions and thoughts to your own, when their experiences in life are completely different than yours. So being impeccable with your word, and don't take things personally. And the third one, and this is very important, it goes right along with the first 2, is don't shoot. It's always easier to think about it until I get on camera. don't make assumptions. Sorry about that. Yeah, don't make assumptions. So don't take things personally, and then don't make assumptions. Anytime anybody says anything or does anything, most of us, we have the tendency as human beings to make assumptions, and usually they're poor assumptions. We assume somebody frowned at us, and we assume they don't like us, or they have something out against us, or we usually make assumptions, and they're usually bad. So I think you can make good assumptions, and that's a good way to live. But the third thing is don't make assumptions, and I think what he means is don't make negative assumptions. So that's the third thing. And the last and most importantly, and this is one of the biggest challenges of all, is to do your best. Whatever you're doing, do your best, whether it be what you're thinking, how you're communicating, what you're doing every day, do your best. And he mentions that doing your best is it's all relative to the situation you're in at the moment. So you could be whatever situation. Doing your best doesn't mean being perfect. It just means trying your best in the moment that you're in. And I think if we can all work on those 4 things, we'll have much more success in life. And we're gonna get down into the nitty-gritty of it on our podcast. I hope I was able to share a few thoughts with you that help with those 4 things, the 4 agreements. If we will make those agreements and do our very best and be impeccable with our word and not make assumptions and not take things personally, then we're going to live the life of our dreams. We truly will. I believe that with all my heart. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great, wonderful day. Until next time, be thankful, live with purpose, live with passion, and as always, stay safe in the saddle.